Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter Podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today, and if you want to call in, 570-530-8316. Let's get started, Beeb. Netflix, with the big fight last night, Netflix for free. How about we got this for, I mean, you had to pay for Netflix. I get it. But hey, it was free. So hey, the biggest fight of the year, Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Terrence Crawford beats Canelo Alvarez for the Undisputed Championship by unanimous decision, 115-113 twice and 116-112. I had the fight 117-111. Antonio had 115-113 for Crawford. What did you have? You had
117-111 for Crawford.
117-111 for Crawford as well. Yeah. So everybody, when I looked on Twitter and saw like the scores and everything, whatever we was scoring as, Rafael, I think Dan Rafael was the only one that had Canelo ahead like late in the fight, which I thought was nuts.
Yeah, that's
but he's a big Canelo guy, so I get it. But even at the end of that, he had Crawford on top. I didn't think the fight was essentially that close. Canelo fought well, but I tell you what, man, once Crawford had him figured out, this fight was over. Crawford looked like, I'm watching this fight, and let me tell you this. Like, I'm watching the fight, and you watch Canelo. He's in front of Crawford. How many times did you see Canelo have to reset? Like, Crawford saw what was going to happen. Like, I don't know if he saw a flex. He saw some kind of tell with Canelo, and then he would move. And then Canelo had to reset. Sometimes he would move and then follow it up with a couple jabs or a couple shots. And then Canelo had to reset again. It was just one of those things. It looked like he knew what he was going to do before he did it. He had Canelo figured out. You could see him. I mean, this happened like throughout the fight. The big topic coming in was Canelo's power. But, as the fight went on, it was Crawford's power that was showing up.
Well,
Canelo's face was swollen.
Yeah, it was getting.
I mean, a lot of
But once again, if you can't generate power if you can't get your legs underneath you and set your
that's it
and set up your shots, and that was the problem. That's what I said before the fight. I said if his legs are lagging behind, right, and Crawford's just constantly probing and circling him from the outside, turning him from the outside. Like I said, kept popping the jab in his face and pot shot on him from the outside. Just kept circling and circling and circling and turning him. Not doing a lot of movement, but just enough movement to constantly force him to have to reset his feet, right? And it was going to be a problem for him. And he was getting frustrated because he couldn't get set and throw the shots the way he wanted to. And even when he did land shots, he was reaching in, and Crawford was kind of far away, where he was catching Crawford at the end of the shot, but not really at the end like he wanted to, where he could generate some power and turn the shot over. Right. It was almost as if he was just reaching with those shots. And I'm not saying he didn't land a couple of good right hands, because he most certainly did.
Oh, for sure.
But a lot of those shots were partially blocked. They hit him they kind of slid off the top of the head because he was overextending himself to try to land those shots. That was what was happening, because he just could not keep up with Crawford's foot speed and his movement on the outside.
Yeah, I think that was you're right. It was the movement. It was he had the perfect game plan to fight this guy. Yeah. And the blueprint had been thrown down before. Let's not act like he just, invented the wheel here.
A lot of guys threw the blueprint.
A lot of guys put that blueprint down. But, knowing the blueprint and executing the blueprint, those are two very different things, man.
And being able to sustain it over the course of a 12-round fight without wearing down.
Yeah, when somebody's got that power and he's throwing it at you, it's a big deal, man.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before the fight, Beeb, when we were breaking this thing down. Everybody assumed that during this fight Crawford was going to run, and we told you he's not going to run.
Not going to run.
He's going to circle. But he's going to stay in front of him, and he did. He stayed right in front of him the entire fight. In fact, if you watch it, he was backing Canelo up at times in this fight.
Yeah, he was. He was.
And he looked like the stronger guy in this fight. And I told you, when they clinched, Crawford, there was the first time they got in a hard clinch, Canelo picked him up or something like that.
Yeah.
The next couple clinches, you watch it, Crawford gets the underhook and just moves him easy into the ropes. He did that twice. And you could tell right then it wasn't a strength thing anymore.
Yeah, that's the one move Canelo really has when he gets frustrated and the guy's grabbing him and he's kind of he'll duck down and kind of try to give him a back body drop or something.
Yeah.
But for the most part, Canelo's really not a physical guy anyways when he fights. Again, he's not an overly aggressive guy by nature. He's a counterpuncher. That's what he is.
Yeah. And, like I said, man, it's just he just could not find him last night.
Yeah.
And you could see him. And, I mean, he was trying. I think Paulie was dumping on him today. Malignaggi was dumping on Canelo today, saying that he wasn't elite, he wasn't great, he wasn't, he was just kind of.
I mean,
he didn't put it on the line. He said he didn't put it on the line like the other Mexican fighters. I disagree with that. I just do.
Well, it's just who he is. He doesn't have a second gear. I'm not. It's partially a mental thing, but it's also a physiological thing because you're sitting there hitting the. What did I say? You're going to hit the gas, and sometimes when you hit the gas,
doesn't happen.
You don't always go. You don't always go someplace. You're hitting the gas and you're not moving sometimes.
That's it.
And he's never really had a second gear.
That's it. There's no second gear. You know what Canelo reminds me of? Canelo and somebody asked in the chat, is Canelo overrated? No, Canelo's not overrated. But you know who Canelo is? Canelo is like the Miguel Cotto of Mexico, where how Miguel Cotto got so much static because he wasn't like a Felix Trinidad guy, and he always waited. He wanted to find the right fight to fight. You know what I mean? And he got a lot of criticism for that. When he was fighting, people that you knew he was going to run over, and it's got to be the best for him, and it's got to be this and that, kind of diva-ish. I get that from Canelo. You know what I mean? He's a little bit diva because he's earned the right. He's done, and the same with Cotto. Yeah. Cotto earned the right. But they never really embraced Miguel Cotto like they did Felix Trinidad, like they did Wilfredo Benitez, and Mexico. Don't get me wrong. They're all big stars in their country. I get that, but Julio Cesar Chavez to this day is revered. Marco Antonio Barrera is revered in that because he put it all on the line.
Eric Morales too.
Eric Morales. They are coming to fight.
See, and it's like when the fight gets tough and a great fighter may hit a patch, they find a way to get it done. But Canelo just doesn't find a way to get it done. Once he gets behind in a fight, or once someone figures him out, he can't come up with another way to switch gears.
Well, I think that's a lot of his trainer too. I think that's a lot of the trainers. When the trainer is supposed to come up with a plan B, C, D. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think that's where a lot of that comes from because he's had the same trainer for years and they work well together, I guess. But again, like you said, once he gets in that mood. But I will tell you this: what about the Kovalev fight? He was losing that fight.
Yeah,
he was losing that fight and came up with a knockout in that fight.
What I said about that is, when you go back and look at the Kovalev and the Caleb Plant fights, those are guys who just really fade bad late in the fights, and they just got tired. And then
But so does Canelo. Canelo fades in the fights.
But they fade a lot worse.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's where I think
no question. Yeah,
that's where I think the problem is. Crawford's not going to fade, so Triple G is not going to fade. Bivol's not going to fade. Mm-hmm. Floyd Mayweather's not going to fade. So what happens if your opponent doesn't fade? And you got to switch a gear.
We always talk about this with the Mike Tyson thing. Sooner or later, there's going to be a guy who's going to take that shot. A lot of people like Deontay Wilder. Sooner or later, there's going to be a guy who can take that shot. Once he takes the shot, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the thing. When Tyson Fury took his shot, Now what?
Yeah.
That's your kryptonite right there.
Yeah.
That shot doesn't work anymore. Now you got a box, and you're in there with a better boxer. So now what?
That's true.
Tony Pugilist Boy says, who has a better resume between Canelo and JC Chavez Sr.? It's tough to say. But I think you got to go with Canelo. Chavez was never undefeated. And Canelo took on all comers. There's nobody that he didn't fight. He fought everybody. And I love Chavez. I love Chavez Sr. But, if we're comparing resumes and accolades and everything like that, two different times, I get it. But
Chavez fought Meldrick Taylor. He fought Jose Luis Ramirez.
Chavez was, 100 fights in?
Yeah.
He fought everybody. You can't say he ducked anybody.
When you go back, though, to that Meldrick Taylor fight, right?
Yeah.
And you just see how Taylor was really running the combinations early, and he was kind of piecing Chavez up. But as the fight wore on, Chavez just kept getting closer, and he always would just sneak in a body shot. And over the course of that fight, he just wore Taylor down. So he had a plan B, and he was behind, but he figured a way how to snatch defeat or snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat. He figured it out. Like Canelo doesn't have that. Like he doesn't have that ability, man. Like he just once the fight's not going his way, he just doesn't have the ability to change it up. That's why I look at him differently than I do like Marquez when he's in there with Pacquiao and that round, the fifth round, before he knocked out Pacquiao in that fourth fight. People thought he was going to get knocked out. And what did he do? He ran, he suckered fucking Pacquiao into a counter, ran in, and he knocked him out.
What about their first fight where he was knocked down 3 times in the first round, came back and should have won that fight?
Yeah. So when I understand like accomplishments and stuff, but people get mad when I say this. But I obviously you have the Mayweather fight, but then the argument is, oh well, he was 23, he was a lot better. Hey, he probably got better, but was he a lot better? Was it more or less a style thing, or was it just him getting better? Because he had problems with Lara.
Yeah,
I thought he lost the Lara fight. I thought he lost both Golovkin fights.
I thought he lost the first Golovkin fight.
Yeah.
The second one, I think I edged Golovkin maybe, but it was a draw, and that was fine.
So he's a great fighter.
Yeah.
But the reason why he's different to me than those fighters was because those fighters had a way of coming back from adversity.
Mm-hmm.
He's that once he's figured out, he doesn't have a plan B. You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing. He doesn't have a plan B, but is that necessarily his fault? You know what I mean? I kind of chalk that up to the trainers, man.
You could make that argument too, but again, if the fighter doesn't have the ability to do a multitude of things,
right?
Then, so
I would agree.
But again, you could have a couple things you do well, and that's enough most of the time. But those elite guys, when the 1 or 2 or 3 times when it's not enough, they can dip into their tool bag and do more. He really can't. Like if you watched Crawford throughout the course of this fight yesterday, look how many times he was switching up, giving different looks.
But that's Crawford. That's what. But that's what we both said.
That's to me what a great fighter is.
Yeah, for sure. Boxing. Thank you so much. He said, "Did Beeb get cream pied yesterday?" No. So. Whatever that means. Let's see here.
Did you read this one from Alexander Wilson yet?
Which one?
This is
put it back up. Okay, yeah, no, thank you. I was actually looking for that one.
Yeah, I didn't know if you read it or not. That's because you took the thing.
I'm sorry about that. Alexander Wilson, thank you so much. He said, I knew this fight was over when Canelo was throwing single shots because Bud was countering that and throwing with him. A great performance. I would agree with that. I would absolutely. ZJ, this is a very good point. Canelo also dropped the belt to avoid a younger Triple G. Yeah.
Here's another thing too. He won 2 of his titles at catchweights. He like that first one. The first junior middleweight title against Matthew Hatton at 150 pounds. Then he won his middleweight title against Miguel Cotto at 155 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crawford won all his titles, no catch weights, no rehydration clause. He fought the number one guy in his division. Now, Canelo did fight the number one guy at 160, which was Golovkin, but I thought he lost.
I thought he tried to age him out too.
Tried to age him out.
Like that first fight, Golovkin was where Canelo is now. All right, that first fight. And I thought Triple G walked him, like dog walked him in that fight.
And the reason why they took that fight, in my opinion, is because most people thought Golovkin lost to Danny Jacobs the fight before. And he showed
Golovkin absolutely lost that fight against Danny Jacobs.
Once he showed that vulnerability against Danny Jacobs.
Yep.
That's when they decided.
That's when they signed that fight.
He actually vacated the title in order to not fight him 18 months prior.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was
again, there's
Triple
a lot
G.
of things.
Triple G was a big deal, man. No question. Kadali Bodiang says, and I apologize if I'm butchering your name, my friend. Crawford figure it out. He doesn't need bone mag. I disagree with that because listen, Crawford didn't come out of a box like this. You know what I mean? This is a lot of training. This is a lot of knowledge. This is a lot of so he had help along the way.
Yeah,
it's not like he just came out knowing how to fight.
You know again, I mean? Eric. You could be right, or because you do see Reynoso train a lot of fighters, and they are all similar in the way they fight and approach fighting. Right?
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of bells and whistles to a lot of the fighters that, like Oscar Valdez. He pretty much is that same type of copy and paste type fighter too, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that what Canelo does well isn't impressive or it isn't great, but we're talking about all-time great elite type fighter status
for sure. And
that again is a different level.
Yeah, Reese Lindsay, excuse me. All fighters need that guy in the corner. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, listen, Floyd had Roger. You know what I mean? And they worked well together.
Yeah,
they worked well together, man.
Had his dad too, yeah.
Yeah, his dad, Floyd Sr., yeah. When he wasn't training De La Hoya and people to beat his son, he was right there, yeah. So let's talk about this, Beeb. Is Crawford... He's undisputed in 3 different weight divisions. 140, 147, and 168, which to me is insane. All right. Right? I mean, he, again, champion, multi-level champion, but again, from 147 to 168, he had one fight between there, right? And it's like, man, and he won that fight. He beat that guy. He beat, yeah. I thought he won too.
No question marks. There's no Jose Luis Castillo fight where people think you lost it. There's no catch weight. There's no rehydration clause. There's no iffy decision.
He's never lost a fight. He's never. You cannot say
as a pro. No,
I thought he lost this fight. There's not one fight that you could look at and say
you don't have to like the performance against Madrimov, but nobody is saying Madrimov won that fight.
Right. What Floyd had? What is it? Castillo.
Yeah,
Maidana, Logan Paul. I mean,
you can't throw Logan Paul in there.
He lost to Logan Paul.
You can't throw Logan Paul in there.
Son, Logan Paul's from Ohio, son. He's got to go there. He's got to go. It's over, son.
I remember we kept trolling everybody and saying Logan Paul beat him, and everyone in the chat was getting mad. He didn't beat him.
He beat him. It was an exhibition, so he didn't beat him, but he beat him. You know what I mean?
That was almost as bad as when we had Nate Campbell on here. You kept saying that Jake Paul. You kept saying Jake Paul would beat him, and Nate Campbell I will kick his ass.
That might have been that. There's 2 moments on the show. That might have been one of my favorites. The other one was when you got into a fight with your brother.
I remember my brother walked by and did something, and I said, I forget what I said to him, but I had you on the floor.
And I'm trying to just trying to, because 2 guys are about ready to fight. I can't do anything to stop it, And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, well, let's try to calm the situation down. But as soon as it was over, it was the funniest thing ever.
I just talk shit. I talk shit to him. I would never raise my hands to him. Never.
The question was asked, is Crawford better than Floyd? Yes, Crawford is definitely better than Floyd.
He's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah,
Definitely in the conversation.
I don't think there's any, you know, Danny. Oh, come on, Danny Drew. Bomac is shaped like the letter O. He ain't no trainer. Listen,
Come
he's got the
on.
look. He's got the undefeated fighter. He's got the best fighter on the planet. Possibly the best fighter ever. He's trained, so you can't really, hey, give a guy his credit, man. So what? He's a big guy. So what?
I love how Crawford answered the question. He basically said, Floyd's the best in his era. I'm the best in my era.
He smashes Floyd in any era.
We don't need to compare each other.
Yeah, he smashes Floyd in any era. And what we have to go back to what Henry Armstrong and Bob Fitzsimmons.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had De La Hoya who won titles, but he never went up to 168.
Undisputed. I'm talking about Undisputed.
I apologize, Eric. That's correct. You're talking about
Undisputed. We got to go back to Barney. Right. What is it, Barney Ross? I think what was Barney Ross 2?
Bob Fitzsimmons and Henry Armstrong.
Bob Fitzsimmons and Henry Armstrong 3.
And people can say there was only one belt back then, but there was
undisputed. That's undisputed.
That's right, but there was 8 weight classes. There was 8 weight classes, and they did it without the junior classes. So again, that's way harder to win multiple titles without junior classes. Yeah, you're right, Eric. Undisputed, correct.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, so yeah, man. I tell you, it's crazy when you think about it. I mean, that's rarefied air. That's something that like nobody does. And listen, before anybody says anything. All right, I want to make this perfectly clear. Claressa Shields is not in this conversation. Not even close. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear, she's undisputed. She was lightweight and she's heavyweight and now she's.
Even Bud said, I'm the first male fighter.
You know why he said him and Claressa are cool. That's why.
Yeah,
they like each other. They're real cool. I don't
disrespect his
care.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't care. She is not going to be mentioned. She's not in the same sentence. She's not even in the same book, son.
Yeah.
You know how many people are in the divisions that Crawford's in?
Yeah.
Male. And how many people, like, what do they got? 3 women heavyweights, Claressa being one of them?
Yeah, and then like a heavyweight a heavyweight in the women's boxing is 175 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, and most of them are making a living on OnlyFans anyway.
Yeah, I'm not.
I said what I said, son.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
You can't compare women's boxing to men's boxing. It's not even close.
No, it's not close at all.
I'm sorry. Call me whatever you want. That's my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it.
Omar says I'm feeling the misogyny in here.
Oh, well.
What are we going to do, man? What are we going to do? It is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is. So here's the other thing, man. I think at the end of the night, Crawford has nothing else to prove, right? What else has he got to prove? He's done. And he pretty much said as much. There's going to be some talk and everything. They're going to offer him some money and everything. He got $50 million for this fight last night. Canelo got $150 million, by the way.
Did he get 50? Is that what he got?
That's what they were saying. That's what they were saying. That was the rumor. The 150 or 100 to 150 million.
He was saying he got 10 million, but I don't know if he was just being sarcastic because I find it hard to believe that he.
Who, Crawford?
Yeah, he must have got more than 10 million.
He got
right?
From what I understand, he got 50. From what everybody, from everything I've read and everything like that, and putting it together, he got about 50 million.
Yeah.
Fight Doctor says rematch Alvarez and retire. For what? We seen it.
I don't want to see a rematch.
I don't want to see it again. We saw it. It was one-sided. We didn't see it. There's nothing Canelo can do to beat him. Nothing.
Yeah, they're very unclear on what they want to do next, and they're not really committing to like anything.
And nor should they, because it's right after a fight. Your emotions are all high and everything like that.
If you want to make one defense of those titles before vacating them, there's one guy I think makes sense from a financial standpoint, from a commercial standpoint, is if Chris Eubank Jr. were to beat Conor Benn in the rematch, then you could fight Chris Eubank Jr. at 168 because he's not really a huge 168 pounder either. He's basically a 160 pounder, And the reason why I say you could do that fight is I think it would be big in the UK. I think you could get. I think it's a great. I think it's a great high reward, low risk fight for Crawford at 168. But if you don't, that's the only fight I would do at 168. But if you don't do that fight, vacate the titles, and then maybe you could fight like a Carlos Adames at 160 just to get another title and even further cement your legacy. Because they're acting like they're going to do like one or two more fights. I hope they don't stick around long because in about 2 weeks he's going to be 38 years old, right? So
yeah, there's nothing left.
There's no
no
way
challenge out there for you.
There's no way he's going back down to 154. He looked pretty shredded at 168,
and he looked good. He looked fast. He looked strong.
I think he'd be fine at 160 if he wants to drop down to 160 and fight a guy like Carlos Adames. Maybe a guy like Irislandi Lara. If you want to pick up a couple titles at middleweight just to kind of even further pad the stats a little bit.
Nah.
But you don't even need to do that. So
you don't need to.
Yeah. But again, if you want that one farewell fight where you can make a lot of money, and I think it would be a big fight in the UK. I think the Eubank Jr. fight, if Eubank Jr. beats Conor Ben again,
it's a big money fight.
I think it would get a lot of.
I don't know that it's $100 million fight.
No, but it probably. What other fight could he fight?
That's the thing. There's nothing out there.
That would be a big fight.
You beat everybody there is to beat.
Yeah.
It's just you cleaned it out. You did.
Yeah.
Warrior Way says, wasn't Shiraz going to get the winner? Yeah, probably. I know Turkey's going to want to do that fight, but again, it doesn't make any sense.
Let's get that down real quick.
He likes your T-shirt. It's Big Texan, son.
It's okay. Let's get that. Yeah, he more than likely will go down to 160. But if he did want to defend the title like one time, he could fight Eubank Jr.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But here's the one that I thought was interesting was the Canelo post fight, and I think his post fight was really telling. Man, he said in the post fight, he said he saw the openings, but he couldn't take advantage. He even admitted that maybe he's not the same fighter that he was. I think that's retirement talk.
Do you think?
I mean, he's got 150 million he banked last night. Let me get 100 million for Skull.
Sure. Let me throw some scenarios at you. Say Crawford doesn't take the Eubank fight, and he says, you know what? I'm going to vacate these titles. I'm going to go down to 160 for maybe one or two fights. Then Christian and Billy, who's got the interim title, gets elevated to full WBC champion.
Dude, I thought Martinez beat him yesterday.
Yeah,
I thought Martinez edged him. That was the fight of the night, by the way. But you
could make that argument because he was landing the cleaner shots. I felt, in my opinion, they were both landing some good shots. His were a little bit more tighter, sharper, and cleaner, and landed more flush. I thought, and I thought his shots started having more of an effect towards the back half of the fight than Ambili's. Ambili was getting tired. So. What if Billy gets elevated to full champion at 160? 168, right? Could Canelo beat Billy? And could he fight for Billy for a WBC?
Yeah. Canelo kills Billy. Yeah,
right.
Canelo beats him. Easy.
So can Canelo beat?
Sure, there's still no
could
question.
He beat Shiraz? Like Shiraz is ranked number two in the W. He's ranked number 2 in the WBO right now.
Yeah, he's
number 1 in the WBO is currently vacant. So what if they say, okay, you and Shiraz can fight for the vacant WBO super middleweight title if Crawford when Crawford vacates.
Look, it's
so there's still
out there. Listen, there's
still winnable fights
for sure. Listen, he's
become champion again once the titles become vacant because I don't think Crawford's going to stay there very long. If at all. So when those titles become vacant, there's Billy. There's if Crawford doesn't do the Eubank Jr. fight and he goes down to 160, he could do this is what he could do. He could do Canelo could do Billy for the WBC title, right? And then he could do a unification. Say Shiraz ends up winning the WBO title, fights for the vacant WBO title. And he becomes WBO champion. Then Canelo could do a unification with Shiraz, right? And then there's the Eubank fight.
But what for? I think that's the thing. I think that's probably where he is. What
from
for?
our standpoint, I see where you're coming from, but it's
No,
so
I
hard.
agree with you. Yeah,
It's so hard to walk away when
no
you could
question.
still make 30, 40, 50 million dollars for very winnable fights.
Yeah, I mean the
That's the
Shiraz fight's a
problem.
very winnable fight. The Billy fight's a win.
The Billy
He'll
fight's a
beat
winnable fight. The
Billy.
Shiraz
He will
fight's a
definitely
winnable
beat
fight. The
Billy.
Chris Eubank Jr. fight's a winnable fight.
Yeah,
And
they're
they're
all
all,
winnable
yeah.
fights.
And
But
you
the thing
probably get
is,
paid well for all of them.
but he's gotten paid. I mean, what has he made? Almost 800 million. I mean, he's probably pushing $1 billion right now.
Yeah, he's made a lot of money.
He's made a ton. You know, the guys you saw him in those pre-fight interviews. The guy's got horses. He's out there playing golf. He's got yachts. What else? I mean, how do you get up? First of all, I think it's impressive that he can get up and train and do this stuff every day. You know, just knowing what he has and knowing where he came from and now where he is now, and to still have that hunger at this time.
Yeah.
You know, but listen, man, I think last night was pretty telling, and I think that I don't think there's anything to prove for either guy. Both guys are both first ballot Hall of Famers. There's no reason to go any further with this.
Do you think Crawford stays at 168 and fights Eubank Jr. if Eubank Jr. beats Conor Benn in November? Do you think that Crawford would defend the title, the super middleweight titles versus Chris Eubank Jr.?
No.
Or do you think you think Crawford's going to vacate? Do you think Crawford's going to vacate these titles immediately, or not immediately, but within?
I think he's retiring. I think he retires.
You think he's going to retire?
Yeah, because what's going to happen is Turkey's going to put Shiraz in there. That'll be the next fight. Would be Crawford versus Shiraz, and there's nothing there for it. You know what I mean? Shiraz isn't going to beat that guy. He's not.
You think Crawford can beat Shiraz?
I think Crawford runs over that guy.
Okay.
I don't think Shiraz is really that great. I really don't. I don't think he's that good. Just like that other kid, Alakel or whatever, that was on the thing last night. He's got 5 fights, and they're putting him on the main card, trying to rush him because he's from Saudi. Listen, son, he's not that good either.
Yeah.
He's just not good. I mean, he's a good fighter, all right? But 5-0, I mean, now he's 6-0. I mean, he doesn't. There's nothing that stands out about that guy. I wouldn't even label him a prospect at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, if Ben were to win that Eubank Jr. fight, I think Ben will probably go down to I don't even know if Ben can should go back down to 147. But if he goes down to 154, he's going to have to deal with killers. So maybe he will. Maybe if Ben does, Ben's going to have to go down to 47. I don't think he can beat those guys at 54. So if Ben were to win, he would have to go down to 147. I don't know if that's going to be a comfortable weight cut for him coming down from 160.
Yeah.
So I understand Ben's took those fights, and it was taking those fights for the money, and it made a lot of sense, and I get it. But long term, if he tries to go back down to 147, is that going to put some undue stress on his body doing that?
Of course. Right? Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's a lot of different ways to look at these things.
That's the fight to make. Tony says Shiraz would beat Eubank in the UK. That's a good fight.
But he'll never.
That's the fight.
Eubank Jr. would never fight him. Never.
But if you want to make a fight, that's the fight.
That's a great
fight.
But Eubank Jr. I don't think would ever take that fight. He wouldn't. Eubank Jr. would rather take the Crawford fight instead, because he'd make more money obviously versus Crawford.
With Shiraz, I mean, he'd make more money. Yeah, for sure he would. So this is the first event. Let's talk about this. Let's switch gears here and talk about the first event on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
So this is the first event on Netflix.
Yeah.
I thought the pacing of this card was awful. That first fight didn't even come off till 9:30?
9:30, yeah.
The main event ended at 2 a.m. Eastern time. Are you crazy?
Started at 1.
Started at 1. Are you crazy? And then before it comes in, they have like 2 concerts or whatever, two things going on. 2 bands or whatever out there. And then they were, then they got to usher them in. Then they got to play all the, the pre-fight stuff again. I'm like, man, just get these guys in the ring. Why
did they keep playing the interviews from those build-up shows that we already saw Why did they play them in between fights again?
It doesn't make any sense. And why watch the build-up shows? I could just watch them the same night.
You know what I mean? We already saw the footage from the build-up shows. Why were they being played again? Dana White said that they got to do a lot better job with the pacing in boxing, and this was probably worse pacing than we've ever seen ever before.
Yeah, I mean, it was awful, man. It really was. It's like, and then when you said somebody on Twitter was saying something about they were mad they didn't do the national anthems.
There was this person that said,
"Are you crazy?"
There's this person that said, "F you, Turkey al-Sheikh, for not playing the national anthems." Great.
So you're going to play the Mexican national anthem.
What did you want?
The American national anthem. You're going to have to play the Saudi national anthem because Turkey's, you know what I mean? Like, come on,
What did you want? The main event
What did you want?
The main event to start at 1:30?
Hey, listen, I guarantee, and I've been to a UFC event. You know how, and they don't do the anthems and the main events or anything like that. But I've been to a UFC. They do the anthem at the very beginning of the show, just like every other sporting event.
Is that what they do? Okay, I didn't know that.
They do it at the very beginning of the show.
I didn't know that.
Before the fights come out, everybody stands for the anthem. That's customary.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear it 50 times.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, the other thing that I'm a little irritated with and just kind of gets under my skin, and maybe I get slack for this, I don't know. But all this Turkey al-Sheikh worship.
No,
I understand.
That does turn off a lot of people.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He's got to be in every single shot. Everybody's thanking him. It's almost like they have to thank him. You know what I mean? I kind of get that.
It was the same thing with Al Heyman when all the fighters had you had the
but you never saw Al Heyman though.
Yeah, but you had Watson there. What was the guy's name? What was his name? Sam Watson, I think. The guy that
was it Watson or Watterson or something like that?
No, it's Watson. Watson.
Yeah,
he would sit there, whisper in the fighter's ear, make sure you thank Al Heyman. Make sure you thank Sam Watson.
Yeah. Make sure you thank
Al Heyman. Make sure you thank Al Heyman. So
man, why don't you just
and this is the era we're in, Eric.
You need to be behind the scene. You don't need to be out front.
It used to be back in the day that it was about the fighter. Now the promoters are the ones that want to get the shine now.
Like, give
me. Then you got Mauricio Suleiman crying.
Oh, that
during fight week. I requested to make sure I could come in at the end of the fight and put the belt around the winner. Who the fuck are you? No one's there to see you.
Nobody cares about you.
No one cares about you. Get the fuck out of here.
All those dumb belts you make up. No, they don't mean anything. You know how I know? Because I got the diamond belt right there. The Conor McGregor, the Floyd Mayweather belt right there. How about that? Anybody can buy one. eBay, son. Give me a break. Stop it. All right, let's bring Robert on before we talk about the rest of the card here. Or maybe not. Yep. Hang on.
Always a project with this kid.
Always a project, right?
Since he got that new phone.
Oh, that phone sucks, right?
Doesn't know how to use the new
Robert,
phone.
you're live.
Hello, guys. Hello, guys. How are you?
What's up, Barbarino?
I'm doing good, man. Good fight, and Crawford put on a wonderful performance, and in my opinion, both of them should walk away. Neither one of them should have any more fights. They've accomplished what they've accomplished, and they both should just walk away. There's already talk, because I listened to the press conference last night. They're talking about a rematch. They don't need a rematch.
We've already seen it.
About a rematch.
We done seen it, son.
They haven't said anything about a rematch.
Yeah.
No, they haven't.
I didn't hear anything on there. Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Here he goes again, making up the story.
What did you hear that at?
He didn't hear it. He made it up. Somebody asked about a rematch, and everyone was non-committal on it.
Yeah,
that's what it sounded like.
I don't want to see I don't want to see a rematch.
I don't think you will, because I don't think it was brought up. I mean,
someone asked a question, and he wants to act like that's breaking news that they're going to have one.
From what I seen last night, Canelo definitely should not fight anymore. He's done.
Why, you don't think he could beat someone like him? You don't think Canelo can beat someone like Billy right now?
Right.
Yeah, well, of course he can, Joe, but
well, then he's not done.
He's not done then. What if Crawford hold on for a second. What if Crawford vacates the titles and then Billy, who is the interim champion, gets elevated to full champion. And Canelo fights him for the
Complicated
WBC.
scenario.
and then Canelo fights him for the WBC super middleweight title. You don't
What
think
if he
Canelo
eats at
can be
rallies on
champion?
Friday and then
You don't think he could? You don't think he could beat? You don't think he could become champion again if he has to fight in Billy for the WBC title?
Yes, he could. Yeah, he could be.
So is he really? Is he really done
that.
then? Is he really done if he can become champion?
In my opinion, Joe, he should be. He should be.
There you go. Robbie, hold on one second.
I don't think.
Hang on one second.
Okay.
Boxing, thank you so much. He says, shout out to Robbie, who told me to bet on black last night. So there you go.
Is that what you told him, Robbie? You told him to bet on black?
No, honestly, guys, these two guys.
You don't want to answer that one. You want to gloss over it.
What?
Did you tell Boxing in the chat to bet on black? Yes or no?
No, I did not.
Well, Boxing says you did.
Honestly, guys, I think these two guys have accomplished what they can accomplish, and they both should walk away. Honestly.
There you go. Can't argue with it. I can't argue with it. How did you score the fight, Robert?
115-113 for Crawford.
So Canelo lost a close fight on your scorecard, and you're telling him to walk away.
Yeah, you had it 115.
But
That's
Joe,
pretty close, dude.
You had it close. In your opinion, that fight was close and competitive.
Yeah,
and
we had it 117, 111.
Okay.
Now you're telling him to walk away. Now, if I want to tell him to walk away, or if Eric wants to tell him to walk away, because we had it a whitewash. We thought school was in session, right? We thought Canelo was going to go to his locker and get the school books. That's why how bad school was in session. You had a razor thin decision.
I'm not going to argue with you.
We're not arguing. We're having a discussion here. You just ran out of ideas. That's not my fault.
In my opinion, Canelo has not looked real good in his last two fights.
But you had the fight.
If anybody wants to,
how can he not look good?
I don't care if I had it 6-6. He did not look good.
You almost scored the fight a draw, Mrs. Eric told me.
Oh, God.
I told you. Robert, do you want to see a rematch?
Absolutely not. I'm going to stick by this. I think they both should walk away. Canelo is in worse shape than Crawford is. The last two fights, he has not looked
in bad shape. He just put on a clinic. What do you mean worse shape than Bud? You're acting like Bud's like friggin' walking with a cane or something. He's in the prime of his life.
I didn't say Crawford. I'm talking about Canelo.
You said he looked worse. He's worse than Crawford. Define what worse than Crawford
means. And he's 3 years younger than
Crawford,
and he looks terrible in his last two fights.
Yesterday, he had fucking 7% body fat. What do you mean worse than Crawford? Not that I was checking him out in the physical sense.
Eric,
sounds like you were checking him out. I wasn't peeping him out like that. But I mean, hey,
prime condition, and you're saying he looked worse than Crawford. I mean, I hate to see how you judge people's conditioning. You want to say he looked worse than Crawford?
He had 68 fights. How many more fights do you want him to have?
Chavez had 100-some fights.
I didn't know there was.
And was he like 90-0 at one point?
There was a rule. I didn't know there was a rule.
He was 87.
Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second.
Lost.
I didn't know there was a rule in boxing where there was a limit on how many fights you could have.
Eric, am I nuts here? I firmly believe that Canelo is on the downside and he should leave.
I said that before the fight.
What am I missing here?
I said that before the fight. Did I not? Did I not say that before the fight? I told you guys before the fight. He's on the slide.
115 to 113. That means you had it tight.
But you had it tight. Yeah, you had it. You did have it tight. That's a tight fight.
I had it. I don't care what my scorecard says. My eyes tell me
walking paradox right now. That's what you. I even made myself.
Why don't you stop it, man?
I even made myself laugh with that one. My material is so good. I even cracked myself up.
You fool, son.
Now I bet you when Jerry comes on, he's going to agree with me that Canelo should
Oh,
win.
strength in numbers tactics now. Is that what this is? Is that what this is? Now you're looking for a lifeline. All of a sudden. Now
All right,
Jerry's
Robert,
your best friend.
We're going to get moving here, man. We'll put you back on hold.
Give him the hook.
Give him the hook. 951. Is this Riverside? Maybe? I don't know. 951. 951, you're live.
Hey, this is Aggie and Lake Elsinore.
Hey,
what's up, fellas?
How you doing, man?
What's going on, brother?
What'd you think of the fight last night?
You know, I'm really impressed with Crawford. I called after the Canelo fight, the last one he had, and Beeb asked me if I thought Crawford would win, and I said I thought he would, but I think that Canelo looked all right. The only thing that he doesn't have is what I said that he didn't have. He doesn't know how to cut off the ring.
Robbie's saying
no, he does not know how to cut off the ring. And yeah, Robbie. No, I thought look, I thought okay. I think Crawford did such an excellent job that he was sensational. And why should he retire? If he wants to keep boxing, he can fuck up everybody he wants. You know, make that money if he wants more bills. Robbie's wrong about that one too. But Canelo just couldn't cut off the ring.
Yeah, he didn't seem to want to cut off the ring last night. And I think that, I think every time he tried to do anything, he was just getting pieced up. I mean, Crawford was so busy last night.
Yeah. I don't think in his last fight, he couldn't cut off the ring. I thought he didn't want to cut off the ring. I know for a fact that he doesn't know how to cut off the ring with this fight. He had a reset. He never learned how to move the fighter to where you need to do.
Yeah.
A slow plotting Margarito could fucking cut off the ring.
Yeah, that was the thing, man. When you watch that fight last night, and I talked about it earlier, you could see Canelo have to reset. And as soon as Crawford saw what he was going to do, he moved. Again, you see him visually having to reset,
And now it's taking longer than it ever did to have to reset because the footwork is even slower now than it's ever been. And it was always
wasn't great.
It always had some problems in the past. He always had a hard time getting his feet set underneath him. Took him time to gather himself, like I said before.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. All right, my friend, we're gonna get
dudes who are coming at him. Dudes who are coming at him, he looks great with them, and he'll fuck them up. But if they're moving a little bit, like Lara, Williams, anybody who moves even slightly, he struggles super hard with them.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Good call.
Great call here. Let's see. Hamed. I believe this is Hamed. Let's see here. Hamed, you're live.
Yes, guys. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
How did you guys score the fight? Because I missed the beginning.
Okay, so I had it 117, 111. Beeb had it 117, 111. My son had it 115, 113, like both judges. Robbie also had it 115, 113, like both judges.
Yeah, I only gave Canelo 3 rounds. The rounds I gave Canelo were round 1, round 4, and 5.
So you had it 117, 111, right?
No, you had it.
Yeah. I thought.
Yeah, the most popular.
You could have given him 4 at best.
Yeah, the most popular scorecards were 10-2 or 9-3.
Yeah.
There were a few 115 and 113s, but those were far and few between.
And they were close rounds. Listen, there were some close rounds in there, but I just thought overall Crawford was the busier fighter. He landed the harder shots, or he landed the better shots.
Yeah, but last 6 rounds, it's hard to see how you could give Canelo a round. I think some people give him the 10th round, but I don't even think he won the 10th round.
I didn't give him the 10th round.
To me, from round 6, was it round 7? Sorry, to round 12. It may have even be round 6. Crawford completely took over, and I was trying to tell people, like, because I started picking Crawford just, I think, after the Belanga fight, but I was even saying for Canelo to do something, he has to do something early on or up until the mid rounds, because he's always had trouble with this style and speed. And the biggest thing for Crawford, I thought, was the inactivity, but I think he did the right thing by preserving himself, because he's fought once a year for the last 5 years, but I don't think it's really affected him. Like, I thought he had a bit of trouble with Brook early on, but I was even thinking about this. The reason that was because Brook had longer arms than him and a longer reach, but apart from that, the only guy I think who gave him trouble in the last 5-6 years, some people may say Porter, but it was really only Madrimov. I thought he was winning against Porter, and he stopped all those guys. To me, I think him and Usyk are the top two guys. You guys have seen about retirement. I think maybe Crawford could have 1 or 2 more fights, because I would like to see if he could win a title at middleweight.
Yeah,
I don't know about becoming undisputed.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Just win one, like just win another title, just to further add to the legacy.
There you go.
Do you guys think he could beat Janibek or no? Do you think he could beat Janibek?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, yeah, because that would be interesting. But yeah, thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thank you so much, Ahmed. All right, let's see what we got here. 419. I believe this is Raphael. 419. Let's see. You're live.
Hello?
All right.
Maybe not.
419, not live. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. 410, Jerry.
What's up, Jerry?
Yep.
You're
All right.
live.
You wanted to ride the
Today's
fence.
orders.
You wanted to ride the fence, but
Yeah.
Eric and I told you Crawford was going to win. But
Told
you
you.
wanted to ride,
Try to tell you. You
wanted
didn't want to listen.
Here's today's,
You wanted to ride
here's
the
today's
fence.
orders. Since you've been talking all show, I need you to keep your pie hole shut while I lay down some knowledge. Unlike you, rarely do I ever pick in big fights like this one guy to
You
decimate,
don't want to put yourself
as
out
you
there.
say, annihilate. I always realize what the reality is. And in this fight, it was the same. I picked Canelo. Yes, I did. I picked Canelo by stoppage in the second half of the fight. That's just how I seen it. I got no problem. Bud Crawford won that fight. He won it fair and square. He didn't run. He was masterful in a sense. I was in line with the 115, 112 card. I don't think it was as wide as what the on-staff commentary was saying. But even the rounds that Canelo won, they were swing rounds. You could have swung them the other way. So it's one of them type of fights that, like so many fights that go the distance, it's difficult to score in a sense, because Canelo was doing some good body work. He was landing some good hooks to the body. He was doing work. That was an excellent Canelo. Yeah, and you got to give Bud Crawford even more props, because, man, Canelo was in great shape for this fight. Ain't no fucking way he wanted to lose to a career welterweight. He was trying, man. He was trying. But he wasn't maybe going as hard as he would have a few years ago. That is just the reality. But you can't take it away from Bud Crawford. He needs to be celebrated. And I've been a critic of Bud's resume. Never his skills or his intent, but his resume, yeah, a little bit, especially considering that he's a pound-for-pound number one consensus guy. So, yeah, but fuck, man, you just got to get him. And you know what? For the people that say that this was a draw or this was...
I didn't hear anybody say it was a draw. Yeah, I didn't see anybody. I didn't see anybody
I was on
Canelo
last
and everything.
night with some cats, man. I was on with some cats last night, and they were Latin. You could tell. But that's how you know we're doing with ball blazing.
Come on, you just go to vilify a whole group of us, man, for what? I picked Crawford. What's the matter with you? Yeah, what are you guys doing over in Baltimore?
Nothing the matter with me. What I'm saying is, what's the matter is with people that say that. I even heard this guy say Canelo got robbed. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding?
That's the guy who lost money on the fight, is what that is.
No, it's typical fan ball glazing. He was a Latino dude. Listen, if Canelo thought that fight was close or he won it, he would have said so.
If he thought that Bud Crawford ran, he would have said so, but he didn't. In fact, he said just what Tim Bradley said when he sparred with Crawford. He said every time I etched my game up, he would game his up, man. And you could see in the last 4 rounds that Canelo was very frustrated because every time he would try to do more, he would get punished. He would get hit for it. It was like, fuck, man. I think that was a very good Canelo last night. He's competed with Crawford closer than anybody else I've seen. Others might say Madrimov, and I agree, maybe, but I don't think Bud did. I think he played it safe in that fight. He knew the Canelo fight was in the offing. And lastly, I want to say I do agree with Eric. Canelo should consider retirement. Bud, I'm not so sure about because Bud has not made the money that Canelo has. They said last night he's made over $800 million in boxing. And I don't think he beats Billy. And Billy's just too strong, too active, too young, too hungry. That's a fucking tough fight for a 70-fight veteran to put him in with a guy like that. Even the Mexican, the guy, the Guatemala guy that he fought, I don't know if Canelo beats him. I don't know. But if he does, it's going to take a lot. And considering he's made all that money and he's done what he's done, now's the perfect time for him to retire. Now, Bud Crawford, he's got great accomplishments, but he hasn't made that type of money. And with Turkey involved, let's say Turkey says, look, I'm going to pay you $90 million to fight Shiraz. I don't know. I'm Bud Crawford. I might do that. You feel me?
$90 million to fight Shiraz? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. It just depends.
Well,
man.
What we do know is the Turk will pay outrageous amounts of money. And what we also know is with this high-profile victory, Crawford is probably going to start getting the star power status that he really has probably deserved all along. And it might only add up to 1 or 2 more fights, but if they're super lucrative, right, which with Turkey they may be, you know what I mean? Because right now he's the undisputed super middleweight champ. Turkey likes that guy Shiraz. He's an Arab, and that's who they were talking about Canelo fighting, had he won this fight.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, for Bud, he could retire right now and it would all be well and good, historical accomplishments, the whole fucking thing. But money, let's be honest. I don't know what he got. He says he got $10 million for that. Do you believe this?
No, he got 50. I believe he got 50. I don't believe.
Well, that's the other rumor, is that it was closer to 50. But this motherfucker, I've seen him say that he was getting $10 million. Maybe he was just capping. I don't know. I can't believe that it was just $10 million, but I will tell you this. When he headlined that card against Madrimov, the California State Athletic Commission released the pay of the fighters, and it had Bud Crawford listed as getting $1.9 million when he fought Madrimov.
Nah,
that's
he had to get
unofficial.
more than that. Yeah. No, I get you.
Well, the conventional thinking is he got more. But listen, are you going to believe what some YouTuber says as to what he got, or what the California State Athletic Commission recorded verifiably what he got?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either way, but I'm going to probably side with the government document.
There you go.
I don't know. I can't imagine that he only got $1.9 million, but it had all the persons listed except Madrimov.
You don't know if he received any bonus money or any stipend or something like that. Like, you don't know if there's any checks written. Maybe sometimes what's released to the commission.
No. That's true. But short of tax evasion or money laundering, that's what you're talking about when you're talking about monies that's not reported. You're talking about some heavy shit on the back end.
You can give a fighter training expenses, or you can give a fighter a bonus. Al Heyman used to do that all the time.
Yeah, but that money has to be recorded, bro. You can't
on your taxes, yes, but it doesn't have to.
Yeah, he's right. Beeb's right.
It has to be reported on your taxes, but not with the commission.
He's right. Well, let me tell you this, because they do the same thing in the UFC. where the stuff that you see on the paper is officially what they get. That doesn't cover all the back end stuff.
Yeah,
now you have to report that on your taxes.
Yeah, put
that's
that on your
true.
You put that on your 1099. That's true.
Okay, well,
Right.
okay. Well, I'm in agreement with that. I'm just saying, it's not like they're just handing a guy $250,000 and like nobody's accountable for anything.
Right.
That's
for
just
sure.
not how it works.
All right,
But,
Jerry.
however, when you talk about the guaranteed purse, that's what was recorded.
No, I
don't know.
I believe it.
All right, Jerry, we're going to get running,
quit.
man. Thank you so much for the call. We appreciate it. Good call as usual, man. Good call as usual.
All right.
Boxing, thank you so much, my friend. He said Jerry can kiss Eric and Beeb's feet because they told you Crawford would win. We were right there. I mean, we're Beeb. I don't like to do this, and I hate
doing this.
Do you think? Let me ask you guys. Do you think Beeb and myself like being right all the time? It's like a curse. It really is. It's like a curse.
It is.
We are never wrong. This is why we do this, because we're never wrong.
That's right.
You guys got to recognize. You guys got to start, letting it go. Start following us, man. It is what it is. Like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Let's go to 312. I believe this is Fight Doctor. 312, you're live.
Yo, Fight Doctor's in the house on Rick James status as always. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. How are you?
Doctor.
How's things?
Yes, sir. Oh, things are going well.
Excellent.
So just real quick, there's 2 points that I want to make real quick. First is that the pound for pound debate is now officially over. There is no reason to put anyone above Crawford. I think he's proven beyond any shadow of a doubt that he is unquestionably the best fighter in the world. So
without a doubt,
that debate wasn't done there, right? You can make the argument he's the best fighter of his generation. I wouldn't argue against. The second point I want to make is I think it's disrespectful to accuse Canelo Alvarez of being the best fighter ever out of Mexico. That conversation needs to stop.
No, but it's a conversation. He's definitely in the conversation, no?
No, sir. I humbly disagree.
I love it.
No. Reason being, go and look at the 11th and 12th rounds of the Crawford fight. Yeah? This guy showed absolutely positively no sense of urgency. Crawford was smacking him around in those rounds, and to me, it looked like Alvarez was happy to be smacked around and just wanted to be over with. That's what I saw. Now, how is it that this guy could be the greatest fighter out of Mexico, given all of the proud, balls to the wall, go for broke fighters that we've seen come out of Mexico? And this guy is going to be above all of them? I think it's disrespectful to the proud Mexican fighting tradition to make this guy.
Paulie Malignaggi said. Paulie
Malignaggi dumps on everybody not named Paulie Malignaggi. Okay.
Paulie Malignaggi said something very similar to what Fight Doctor just said. He's pretty much in agreement with what Fight Doctor said.
Yeah. Right.
Listen, it's okay to lose. That's fine. But what I don't understand is laying down in the process, which is exactly what Alvarez did in the championship rounds. He showed no sense of urgency.
He was trying, man. He was coming forward. He was trying in those last couple rounds. Crawford was just a better fighter, man.
But okay, well, we know that, okay? But that's not what we're talking about here. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy getting bitch slapped, okay? Getting bitch slapped out of his title and was happy when it was over. Okay?
I love when Fight Doctor calls.
He wanted to go home and get in his silk pajamas, okay? Look, did you see him at the post-fight? Okay?
Yes.
The post-fight interview. The guy, he sounded like he wanted to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
There was no anger. There was no frustration.
No.
There was no, I could have done some things better. There was no, I want to get this guy back in the ring and prove I'm the better man.
Right.
There
He's
was none of
right.
that.
If you go listen to that press guy, everything he's saying is correct. Yeah.
Listen,
There was none of that.
something else, Fight Doctor, that was very telling is when Max said, you lost this fight. How are you feeling right now? Oh, I don't feel like I lost. I feel like I'm still a champion. I'm still won, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's almost like that I've already done enough. So even by losing, it doesn't matter to me. Now, Michael Jordan, say he lost, he won 6 titles, but say he was playing for his 7th and he lost. Do you think he would have said, "Oh, it's okay. I already won 6. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm still a champion"?
You're 100% correct. And what if Crawford lost that fight last night?
Yeah.
You think Crawford's acting like that? He's not.
Andre Wood was the same way. Like he hated fight. You have to. Some fighters accept losses. They don't hate to lose. And judging by his reaction after that fight, particularly during the post-fight interview, it didn't bother him losing that fight.
Yeah.
But yet still, this guy is the greatest fighter ever out of Mexico. Really.
In modern Mexico, not old Mexico. I'm talking about modern Mexico.
Well, whatever Mexico we're talking about, I think it's an insult. Okay. So look, that's all I got. You guys marinate on that for a while, and I catch you in the next one.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Fight Doctor, everybody. Love Fight Doctor. He's a computer guy too. He's just like me. He's a computer guy. There you go. How can you not like Fight Doctor?
Fight Doctor is a really, really smart guy, man.
He's all
very talented person.
Absolutely is.
Much respect.
MAW, thank you so much. He said, salute Eric Beebs and the chat. Congratulations, Bud Crawford. Bud, easily my number 1 pound for pound now. Great performance. Canelo has done great things to rep Mexicans. People just quick to kick him because he lost. There you go. Yeah, I agree with that. I would totally agree with that. Let's see. Let's go over the rest of the card real quick, and then we'll get to the news. Fight of the night. Actually, the co-main was Callum Walsh versus Fernando Vargas. Callum Walsh just washed this one, 99-91, and 100. He had 99-91 twice, and then 100-90. Unanimous decision over Vargas Jr. Fight of the night, in my opinion, was definitely, you heard a lot of talk about Mbili tonight. Christian Mbili versus Lester Martinez. Great fight. Ended in a draw. Listen, I usually hate draws, but this was definitely a deserved draw. I thought that Lester Martinez edged it out. Either way, it was a great fight. These guys, this kind of fight takes years off of your career too.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, this type of thing takes years because they got hit flush the entire fight.
Yeah.
And they did not let up. Both these guys were just, it was incredible to watch. Muhammad Alakel versus Travis Crawford. Alakel won this fight. He won a unanimous decision. He's 5-0. Guys, they're rushing this kid. And I think they put him on there because he's Saudi, Turkey, Saudi. I get it. And Shiraz, I get all that. That's fine. I have no problems with it. But you guys are doing this kid a disservice because I believe you're rushing him. And he's not, there was nothing really to me that stood out with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not special right now. And you guys are treating him like he's special.
I found it very weird that this was part of the pay-per-view portion of the card over the Sergey Bohachuk Brandon Adams fight. Brandon Adams and Bohachuk fight was a very good fight, which definitely warranted being on the pay-per-view portion of this card.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and let's talk about Brandon Adams wins a unanimous decision over Bohachuk. For the second, I guess their rematch, 99-91, 98-92 twice. And hey, guys, in case you forgot about it, Naoya Inoue fought today.
Yeah.
Mirjan Akhmadaliev and Naoya Inoue won by unanimous decision over Akhmadaliev, 118-110 twice, 117-111. I will tell you this. I had the fight scored 120. 109. I couldn't give Akhmadaliev a round.
Yeah.
I almost gave him the 12th because he landed that right hand. But it was at the end of the round he had completely lost.
Yeah, so you don't give it to him, yeah.
Yeah. What about Top Rank? I mean, why was this fight on Facebook Live? Top Rank, let me tell you this.
They don't have a broadcast partner yet.
I'm going to tell you this right now, man. Top Rank needs to get it together. Yeah. Go to DAZN or go to Netflix or something like that. Get in with Turkey and everybody because this is where it's at. You know what I mean? Don't try to do your own thing because it's not going to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Facebook, you got Naoya Inoue. Number 2 pound for pound, by the way. Number 2. Fighting on Facebook Live? Get it together over there at Top Rank, man. Come on. Get it together. DAZN also had Lewis Crocker versus Paddy Donovan this weekend. Crocker wins a split decision over Donovan, 114-112, 114-113, and 111-115.
Yeah.
So Crocker wins a close decision. And we'll round it off with this, the news today, which was sad.
Shocking, too. Very shocking.
You know, I saw this and I couldn't believe it. I really could not believe it. He was supposed to fight December 2nd. Ricky Hatton was apparently found dead at his house or his apartment or whatever he has this morning. And there was no foul play suspected or anything like that. Suspect. I should say they didn't see anything suspicious is the wording they used.
That's the wording, yeah. So we don't know what's going to happen coming out, and obviously we don't want to cast any speculation. But
you know, the speculation was, well, they said, you know, he did have mental health issues and stuff like that. Listen,
a lot of depression.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he had a heart attack. I don't know if it was natural. I don't know.
They haven't released
speculate on it.
Yeah, they haven't released a cause of death, and that's a little bit peculiar as well too.
This one really hurt. This one really hurt, man, because like he was 47. The guy was 47, man.
He was he was just a very nice person. Obviously we didn't know him personally, but he just came off as just a really likable guy. And I don't think I've ever heard anyone say anything remotely bad about the guy.
It's such an exciting fighter. I mean, everybody loved him. Everybody loved watching him fight because you knew he was going to bring it every time.
Absolutely.
It's awful. It really is. I mean, to watch that guy coming up like we did, I mean, you and I both seen him come up, you know, and start his career. We saw him end his career, man. And for it to end just like this, man, is awful. I mean, it really is. No matter how it ended, it's awful.
Yeah, my deepest condolences to his family, man.
Oh yeah, I believe he have kids and everything. He had sons.
Oh yeah,
he had sons and
Matthew Hatton.
Matt. Yeah, right, Matt. Yeah, I mean
Campbell Hatton.
Campbell. That was it. Campbell.
Matthew Hatton's his brother. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't imagine what that family's going through right now.
Yeah.
It's got to be such a shock to everyone. Yeah. It's all. It was a shock to us. You know what I mean? And when you sent it to me this morning, and I saw it, I was just like, I was floored. I went to, and I opened my computer this morning. I went to Boxing Scene, you know, just try to get the scores and everything so I can do the show. And that's the first headline I saw. I was like, and I was just floored. I said, "Oh my gosh!"
Someone sent it to me at like 6:30 this morning.
Yeah,
I was floored.
Couldn't believe it, man. I could not believe it. It's surreal. That's what it is. Just surreal. You know,
too young to go like that.
Way too young, man. And if it, you know, they said he had battles with depression and mental health and everything, and a lot of people do, man. Go get help for it, man. It's, you know, but it's crazy how it works. I mean, it really is, because you can have this, and you know, you could have everything. Look at Anthony Bourdain, remember the cook guy or whatever, went all over the world eating and filmed it, and had a TV show and everything. So you think this guy's got the life, right? Guy's got the life. He goes and he eats everywhere, goes and sees things we'll never see, you know, and does all this stuff. And yeah, man, nothing, you know, it's like, it's a hard thing to deal with, man. It really is. And Spirit of Justice, I tell you what, I'll land it here, man. I'll end it here. G Funky, thank you so much. He said, greetings, Beeb and Eric. We called it. Canelo can't pull the trigger anymore. He's 100% right. And I will leave it right here, man. Spirit of Justice. This is probably the quote of the year right here. There's only one Ricky Hatton, no question, man.
Only one Ricky Hatton.
Condolences to his family, and wow, man, this is awful.
Sad.
Just awful.
Very sad.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporter.com. Like and subscribe to our channel. We got content all week. You can find me on X at ringside73. Guys, we will see you next week.